Shabbat Shalom. You can stand up and say Shabbat Shalom too.
Hi.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, everybody. At the end of this crazy week, we wish you a wonderful and restful Shabbat. And I'd like to invite everybody to take a deep breath. I'm Rabbi Jessica Graf. This is our assistant rabbi, Ariel Graf. And together with Cantor Toby Glaser in the sanctuary, we welcome you. Jonathan Dimmock, our music director, is there, and Gordon and Peter somewhere nearby. We look forward to sharing Shabbat with you. And I'd like to introduce Stacy Passman, who is a member of our board of trustees, to share a welcome. And she's got some wonderful people sitting next to her too. Maybe you can introduce your buddies over there, Stacy.
Oh, hi, I'm Stacy Passman. I'm the board of trustees, and I'm the co-chair of the social action committee and the co-chair of the inclusion committee. And I am here with my friends and my sons, Gil Passman-Lapushin and Ronen Passman-Lapushin, very soon to be mitzvahed boys. So they're here for their part of their bar mitzvah preparation.
And because they love bringing in Shabbat with us.
One other thing I just wanted to tell people is that social action is expanding as more immigrants come to the United States. As we've all heard, there's going to be more people coming to the Bay Area, and we're looking for help. We're going to expand our helping like we have been to doing with the Avilas, although they like everyone does, eventually age out of the system. And now now we're ready to take on new people. So we're looking to expand, and we're looking for more people to help. We're going to be collecting things. We're going to be helping the people, bringing them food, which is partially done by Hamotzi, maybe help them somewhat financially, probably not a lot, because the idea is that they would be self-sufficient. Stuff like that. So look out for more about our latest drive soon, and everybody will hear about it in due time. And the other thing I wanted to say is that we're starting the inclusion committee, and we're looking for people to join us. And if anybody wants to join us and to give people, we're going to be talking about welcoming of all different sorts of people and greeting at the door, but also talk about being a truly welcoming community. So if anybody's interested in that, we would love to have you come do that too.
All right. You gonna chant for us? Baruch
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Beautiful chanting. There's something really special about the blend of twins' voices. They always seem to come together really nicely. So beautiful chanting, guys. We're looking forward to your ceremony in a few months.
Awesome. Shabbat Shalom. So we'll continue with the music that welcomes the angels of Shabbat into our space. My family just moved this week, so you can see kind of blank walls behind me and a few boxes here and there. So I am ready for a nice rest on Shabbat and goodbye to the week, welcoming some angels to come in and to stay with us for 25 hours. So Cantor, will you help us bring those angels to our community?
Yes. Shirul Adonai. Let's sing a new song, which is a little less new, but still somewhat new to the community. Here we go. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד. נורא הוא על כל מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו הגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו.
Beautiful, and we continue to let the week go and to enter into our own space of Shabbat in our minds with these words of Lecha Dodi, the poem that really welcomes Shabbat and ends with us turning towards the door through which we entered to give honor to the angels as they come into our midst.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם כל תפארת ולתהילה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי, אורי שידברי. כבוד אדוני עלייך נתלה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We rise as we are able. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha דודי לקראת כלה, Pene Shabbat nekabela.
Beautiful, with our voices warmed up and our sense of community building and growing and tranquility beginning to enter our spaces. We now join with the cantor in Baruch Hu, which means, the words mean, praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. But really, when we do this call and response, we say we are here as a minyan, here as a community, and ready to enter into Shabbat.
Ya dai 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 dai. Ya dai 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 dai. Ya dai 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 dai. Ya dai 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 dai. Ya dai 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 dai. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam va'ed. Ya dai 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 dai. Ya dai 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 dai. Ya dai 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 dai. Ya dai 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 dai. Ya dai 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 dai.
Beautiful. How great is your love for us. Adonai, we are so grateful to you who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Join in Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat olam bet Yisrael Amcha ahavta Amcha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadta Otanu limadta Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbenu Ukumenu nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגי יומם ולילה נגי יומם ולילה אל תסיר לעולמים ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל אוהב עמו ישראל Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Beautiful. Ari has been practicing Ve'ahavta since she last led our community in Ve'ahavta, working on these last verses and making sure she knows them all. And just before we came to the service, what did we do downstairs? With a hammer?
We put on our first mezuzah in this house.
We hung up a new mezuzah. And do you know what prayer is inside of a mezuzah? Ve'ahavta, Shema Ve'ahavta. So it's your very favorite prayer so far, and we would love you to lead us in the singing of it. Okay, go ahead.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובפלגתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם בכל מיתותיי, וכיתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם קדושים לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Beautiful. Nice.
Yasher Koach, beautiful chanting, Ari.
Thank you for leading us. We will continue with a beautiful prayer remembering our freedom, which we always do when we come together, because it is this freedom that allows us to build our beautiful community and to live as a free and autonomous Jewish community here in the United States and across the world. So we join together in these words of Micha Mocha.
Ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar v'kodem, nora tehilot osefele, nora tehilot osefele, alechotecha ra'u uvanecha, mokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, ze'eli, anu ve'amru, Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed. Yai dai 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 dai
We ask God to help us lie down to a night of rest. As I wrote about this morning, I'm ready for a night of rest. Some dreams of big, huge palm fronds and crazy flowers on some island somewhere. Some rest, not only to rejuvenate my body, but also our souls, I think, after this really tiring time of separation. Some hugs would be really nice and restful and helpful. And until we can have those, maybe a good night's sleep and knowledge of God protecting us under God's sukkah of shalom, shelter of peace that we pray will be around us. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukkat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. May God bless us all with a sense of shleimut and wholeness and peace. Hashkivenu.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right. Amen. 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 Amen.
We set our intention, each of us, now for a prayer of our own hearts, prayer of our own souls. B'chol levavcha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol meodecha. From your own heart and mind and strength and soul, we call out to God with whatever words come to us from this week, from this time, in this incredible moment of being together, but in our own spaces.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Yadadai, dai, dai, 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 yadadai, dai, dai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מחכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישוע. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. So tonight, I'm not actually going to be giving the drush. We're going to have the privilege to hear a sermon in song from Cantor Glaser. I asked him if during this time from Pesach to Shavuot, this time of the counting of the Omer, it might be beautiful to hear some music of the season. As Rabbi Phelps so beautifully spoke about last week, we are in this period of 50 days of counting these 7 weeks from Pesach, from the time when we celebrate our liberation from Egypt, and also we read from the scroll Song of Songs, the special book, which is really a love poem between the people of Israel and God. And then we go through these 7 weeks of all different iterations of emotions and feelings and commitments in our response to what it feels like in gratitude for our freedom, up until Shavuot, when we receive the law and we come into contact again with God. And so it's a traditional time for us to be introspective and to be thoughtful about our Judaism and our commitment to our community. And on Shavuot, we read, bookending this time period, the book of Ruth, which is a wonderful story in which Ruth chooses Judaism, and she says famously to her mother-in-law, your people will be my people and your God will be my God. I choose to be with you, with this community, and with this God forevermore. And so tonight we have the privilege to hear some beautiful music, which I, until earlier this week, didn't even know existed, actually. The Cantor is going to lead us in some music of Shavuot coming directly from the book of Ruth. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. More specifically, actually, way to steal my thunder, but that specific verse, actually, 3 settings. We'll give a little bit of background, but as you know, we have 5 Megillot, right? 5 scrolls. We have, the Megillah, which is the Purim scroll, but we actually have 5 scrolls that are each associated with different festivals. And specifically, as the rabbi mentioned, we have Megillat Ruth, so the scroll of Ruth, which is associated with Shavuot. We don't really know why. There's a couple of explanations. One is that her journey to Judaism kind of parallels this receiving of Torah. Another more pragmatic explanation is that it probably took place around springtime and harvest, and so is Shavuot. So that could also be a factor. But we're not going to focus on the whys. We're going to focus on some really beautiful musical settings. They all deal with the same section of text, which is Ruth chapter 1, verses 16 and 17. So Naomi, this Israelite woman, has 2 sons and a husband. They all die. Don't worry, it gets better from there. But Naomi's 2 sons were married to 2 Moabite women. And as the rabbi mentioned, one of these Moabite women chooses to go back to her people. She goes away. And Naomi says, both of you should go away. And Ruth has this beautiful text. Do not urge me to leave you, to turn back and not follow you. For wherever you go, I will go. Wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. This and more may God do to me, if anything but death parts me from you. And this beautiful text has been important both for converts to Judaism, people learning about Judaism, but also in queer Jewish theology as an example of a very romantic text between 2 early biblical women heroes and their relationship. The continuation of the story gets, a lot crazier after chapter 1, but we're going to look at these 2 specific verses. The first setting of this text comes from Bruce Rubin, who was a former head of the Debbie Friedman School of Sacred Music, where I attended grad school. It's a fairly simple and dance-like folk melody. It's actually a wedding piece that's sung a lot at weddings, so it could potentially be with someone who is marrying someone from a non-Jewish background. It's a beautiful text. We also have a much more Old English kind of setting, entreat me not to leave you, instead of just ask. We've got entreat. So a lot of the text is a little more high English, traditional, and I hope you enjoy this first setting from Cantor Bruce Rubin. Entreat me not to leave you, entreat me not to leave you, and to return from following after you. Entreat me not to leave you, entreat me not to leave you, and to return from following after you. For wherever you go, I will go, and where you dwell, I will dwell. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Beautiful romantic setting of the text. And also, I would like to make a small apology that clearly this is a woman, Ruth, singing these songs, so they really would sound better in a woman's voice. But if you want to picture me in drag, whatever works. Our next setting is more of an art song by Lawrence Avery, a former professor at Hebrew Union College and a beautiful composer. This setting is actually in the original Hebrew text, and look out for these beautiful kind of refrains, these sighs of the words Amech, Ami, Velohayich, Elohai, which is, of course, your people are my people, your God, my God. The Hebrew is very poetic. We have this Amech, Ami, and it's beautiful alliteration. So listen for that beautiful setting of text. אל תפקבי לעוזבך, לשוב מאחרייך, כי אל אשר תלכי אלך, ובאשר תליני עלי. עמך עמי, ואלוהיך אלוהי. עמך עמי, ואלוהיך אלוהי. באשר תמותי אמות, ושם אקבר. כה יעשה אדוני לי, וכה יוסיף, וכה יוסיף. המוות יפריד Another beautiful setting from Lawrence Avery. Our final setting is definitely a little different and more modern. It's a setting by Aminadav Aloni, who was a film composer based in LA, kind of in the 70s and 80s. So you're going to notice the sonic palette is a little different. His melodies are very lush. His orchestration, his harmony is kind of jazzy. Some people might say it's a little cheesy. I would not, but some people might. It's a style that's very uniquely his, with big sweeping intervals and these big flowing melodies, and this kind of really identifiable jazz harmony that you'll hear in the piece. And this is actually a song taken from his oratorio, Ruth. So there is a whole oratorio. I haven't heard it, but I would love to at some point. So this is Aminadav Aloni's Don't Ask Me to Leave You. Don't ask me to leave you. Don't ask me to go back. I never want us to part. Don't ask me to leave you. Don't ask me to go back. I never want us to part. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people are my people. Your God is mine. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. Your people are my people. Your God is mine. Don't ask me to leave you. Don't ask me to go back. I never want us to part. Don't ask me to leave you. Don't ask me to go back. I never want us to part. For death alone shall part us, you and me. For death alone shall part us, you and me. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people are my people. Your God is mine. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people are my people. Your God is mine. Beautiful setting by Aminadav Aloni. And so we see just from 2 verses of Tanakh, literally 2 verses from our scroll of Ruth, we have so many different sonic possibilities that are created. And, you know, coming up to Shavuot, just as we celebrate the receiving of Torah, we should also celebrate the receiving of all this beautiful art that comes from our liturgy, from our scrolls. So thank you for listening and sharing this beautiful music from the Book of Ruth, which doesn't get a lot of airtime these days.
Thank you so much, Cantor Glaser and Jonathan, for bringing the Book of Ruth to life for us. I think in all of the years that I have been studying this book, I have never heard any of these melodies, and it's really a privilege for us to be able to engage with this text in such a different way. So with a beautiful new piano in our sanctuary, our amazing music director, and our cantor who brings us something really very different from what we've done before. We're so grateful. Thank you for a beautiful teaching.
Yes, thank you so much to Jonathan, especially. Really, it's always a pleasure to have him accompanying on new pieces and bringing so much artistry to music.
I agree. And so we'll continue with our service with words of Misha Berach as we say a blessing of healing.
We're going to do our poll,
Yes,
remember?
special poll. Did we fix it?
Now? Okay.
Now. I said, let's do it after the sermon. Everybody nodded their heads and go, oh yeah, that's great. So there we go.
All right, then, perfect.
Okay.
Everybody's here now too.
Yeah. All right.
We're all
So
here.
for folks who are not here at the beginning, and a wag of the finger for being late to services, we are, as everybody knows, we're now in the yellow tier, which means something. I guess it means we can go to a bar. So as we thinking about reopening the synagogue, we would like to get a sense of what you're thinking of the synagogue. So I have a little poll here. It's just 3 questions. It's entirely anonymous. I ask you to be brutally honest with us. Not that these are terribly deep and thoughtful questions. And with that said, I'm going to kick these off and thank you for your responses.
Let's get some waiting music, Jonathan. something from Jeopardy.
A little more.
Polls haven't closed yet.
All right, well, thank you all very much. I realize there's a little bit of a glitch in as much as you had to answer question 2, but I appreciate everybody who responded. On with the show or the service.
Excellent. We'll continue our service, not a show at all, a service. My hair would look much more perfect if this were a show. We'll continue our service with Misha Berach as we ask God for wholeness and for healing for those in our community who are in need of our prayers and of our support. Tonight, we pray for the refuah shlema, the complete and speedy recovery of Shoshana Chana Asher, Ilana Bat Abraham Visara, Michael Enery, Michael Gaines, William Kurian, Leonid Landra Renko, Carolyn Resnikoff, Chris Romano, Agnes Rothblatt, Carolyn Olson Stellman, and Sam Weiner. We honor and pray for those whom you mentioned out loud at home or in the chat as well, so that we bring together all of these names in our hearts and in our community as we share in these words of Misha Berach.
שבירך אבותינו מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say שבירך אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirits, and let us say
When we come together as a community, it is also our privilege to share our simchas, our smachot, our wonderful happy occasions. The Cantor and I and Rabbi Phelps were at the mikveh this morning welcoming 2 new Jews into our community. You'll hear more about those people when we get to bless them at our Shabbat services, but we are thrilled, even during a pandemic, that people continue to honor and celebrate their Judaism and their desire to become full members of the Jewish people and of our shared Israel community and synagogue. So that was a wonderful beginning to our day today. And also in just a few minutes, you will get to meet our very special birthday girl. But we'll take a moment now to wish everybody who's having a birthday this week or in this time a very happy birthday. And what else? Other simchas that you're experiencing, celebrating, looking forward to, please share in the chat so that we can all share in them as we thank God for giving us life and sustaining us and enabling us to reach this moment.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Amen.
Aleinu, it is upon us to make our world a better place, and we join in these words of Aleinu as we think about what we might do after Shabbat to build a better world.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא
We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we've drawn into our hearts with our own Zichronam Livracha. May their memories be a blessing. On this Shabbat in our community, we remember for Shloshim in the first 30 days of mourning, Sigmund Sig Freeman and Carol Hemingway. If there are other loved ones for whom you say Kaddish during this period of Shiva or Shloshim, the 7 or 30 days of mourning, please share their names out loud or in the chat. The perpetual memorials in our congregation are Dr. Elliot Eisenberg, Judith M. Escalante, Melvin. The yard site anniversaries on the Shabbat are Dorothy Annixter, Alex Barbalot, Irving Benjamin, Lillian Teal Black, Catherine Carey, Barry Collier, Dee Dee Epp, Elizabeth Gold, Rose Greenberg, Norma Horn, Herman Horwitz, Marion Magnus Kamens, Dr. Leon Kolb, Mark Laser, Rose H. Libman, David McGrish, Jenny Miller, Dr. Lawrence Rudner, Marion Rudner, Corrine Rummelsberg, Leonard Silverman, Fernan Saparsky, Jana Smith, Burton Stern, and those whom you remember by mentioning their names out loud or in the chat. We'll join together in these words of Kaddish Yatom, which don't mention death, but rather thank God for the greatness of these people's lives, of the creativity of God's incredible creation on earth, allowing for so many different kinds of people with different ways of being in the world, these values and their teachings, which remain with us and continue to enrich us. Yit gadal v'yit gadash shemei rabah, v'almad yivrach yirteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayeh d'chol beit Yisrael v'agalav v'zman kariv imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabah mevarach le'olam u'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechemata. Tamiran ve'almav imru, amen. Yehei shlam araba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, amen. Hosei shalom v'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to mourners everywhere. And we say together, amen.
Mm-hmm.
We continue with some announcements. Gordon, perhaps you have some phony made up holidays you'd like to tell us about?
Yeah, actually, I have plenty. There's tax day. Oh, it's not. Never mind. So I do have a few things to announce. For starters, we've been talking a lot about Shavuot. Shavuot is Yom Tenuva in Israel. Tenuva is the large dairy company, and Shavuot is coming because there's suddenly cheesecake kits all over the supermarket end caps. So the traditional greeting is Yom HaTenuva Sameach. And I just made that up. No, actually, I made that up years ago, but it's still made up. However, one of the things we'll be celebrating at Shavuot is confirmation, and that will be next Friday night. We will also be observing Yizkor, and Yizkor will take place at the end of the confirmation and Shabbat service. We also have a couple of B'nai Mitzvah coming up. So on the 15th, Kai Denmark will be called to the Torah. On the 22nd, Zach Camille will be called to the Torah. And then finally, on the 25th of May, Yom Esrim V'chamesh Lamai, there you go. We will have the annual meeting of Congregation Shearith Israel. And all members are invited to attend. And we hope you will, because we have to make quorum and vote on a few things. And the Board of Trustees is putting a lot of work into making sure that it looks nice and it goes smoothly, and that the food is, oh, wait, no, never mind. So I hope you will join us for all of those and many more to come over the course of the summer. And with that, back to you, Rabbi.
Well, I want to add, for the original made-up holiday, which was Hamishi Lemai, which is the Hebrew translation of Cinco de Mayo, which our activity had nothing to do
Wait, what is that in English?
with either a made-up Hebrew holiday or Cinco de Mayo, but it happened that on the 5th of May, which was just a couple of days ago, we had the great privilege of hosting Daniel Sokach at our synagogue, who is the CEO of the New Israel Fund. And for those of you who were not able to join us then, I highly recommend that you watch the video. Daniel was so interesting and so engaging, and was able to explain the complexity of Israeli politics in a very understandable and clear way. And in a long way. We only actually ended up asking about 2 or 3 questions, and he was able to explain all of Israeli society to us based on those 2 or 3 questions. But the 3 of us, had a blast just being together in one space, and also getting to talk about something which is so interesting and so topical. And so it was really a lively conversation. And the video, I believe, Gordon, is available on our website.
It's on our website, and Peter just dropped it into the chat. So there you go. But it's on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
And it's a great recording of the rabbi and I nodding our heads vigorously as Daniel talks about Israeli society.
Well, I was learning a lot, because there's no way that I could give a dissertation like that on modern Israeli politics. So something to think about if you are interested in that subject. Tomorrow morning at 9:15, Rabbi Phelps will be leading Torah study. And Cantor Glaser, I believe you are doing something fabulous for small Jewish people. Is that true?
Yes. Watch out, small Jewish people. Yes, 9 a.m. we have a Little's Shabbat. So we're going to just sing some fun songs. We'll hear a couple of stories from some parents, and should be a lot of fun. A nice half hour. So if you are near to someone aged 1 to 9, 0 to 9 even, under 1, come and hang out at 9 a.m. tomorrow. The link is on our website.
Or come and hang out and hold up a picture of a baby. That's good too. We will continue with, I mean, if you're a fun person, we'd love to have you. We will continue with Kiddush. And it is a great privilege to invite tonight's birthday girl, Lee Pollock, to join us without being muted. Lee, I know you're out there because I saw you just a minute ago. There she is, our birthday lady. Gordon, can you please, there we go. So Lee is a woman who needs no introduction in our community. She has been with us for decades and decades and decades. She's a leader in so many capacities in our synagogue, but she's also celebrating a birthday on Sunday, I think, right? And so was it last Sunday or this coming?
It was actually May 5th. It was on May Day.
Oh, then it wasn't a totally made up holiday, Gordon. You're right. It was an actual holiday. We are delighted to be able to see you, even in a little rectangle, and to be able to celebrate with you. So many people have been able to see you, even throughout this pandemic, as you've been leading wonderful, wonderful programs for all of us. And I see Stu, just a sliver of Stu's head behind you. We know and love Stu. Both Lee and Stu have been leaders in our community, and both have actually helped us to understand politics, the world around us, and what's going on with current events, even during this pandemic in our From the Front Lines series. So hello, Shabbat Shalom. Will you, Lee, I had asked you if you would say something about your time at Shereth Israel, because I'm not actually sure when you came to us. I know it was like in the beginning of time.
A long time ago. And thank you. Actually, by you asking me to do that, it was a little bit of a trip down memory lane, and very difficult to capture almost 80 years of being part of Shereth Israel through my family history and through myself. All of my life cycle events have a Shereth Israel connection. I attended Sunday school there. I was confirmed there. As a bride, I was married to Stuart there. As a mother, I was there for baby namings and bar and bat mitzvahs. I've been so many times over the years as a volunteer. I was thinking teaching classes, leading programs, facilitating groups, and of course for funerals and memorial services. Anyway, it's really.
We just lost sound.
Uh-oh, we lost Lee.
I think we lost Lee. The sound is here.
okay.
Lee is not. The internet.
Oh no, did our birthday girl hit a red button?
Maybe we can do Kiddush and then we will come back to her if we can find her.
Yeah, I think she just fell off the internet. Let's
Okay, well-
let's bless some wine and then
Hopefully, yes. Between now and Motzi, she will be able to join us.
Yes, we'll see her come back on. In Lee's honor and in honor of Shabbat, we bless this day and this cup of wine.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר לציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. Amen. L'chaim. I think we are still missing Lee, unfortunately. But I did see Stacy Passman baked a challah this week. So anyone else we want to spotlight for chalot?
I see the shores. Yep,
Yes,
there's a
they
challah.
have. Sure, beautiful. Excellent.
Nancy, of
And
course.
Chris
The-
Vogt. It's always
the
choir
waltz.
members. I just think it goes hand in hand. If you join the choir, you bake a great
Yeah,
challah.
and Valerie's got one. And let's see.
And Ellen's got one there. Let's get beautiful. All right. Shir, would you like to lead us this evening? Here is Aminadav Aloni's Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malach Yai-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di B'terem Kol Yetzir Nivra Yai-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di V'yetnasa b'chefzo kol Yai-di-di-di-di-di-di-di Azai Belech Shemo Nikra Yai-di-di-di-di-di-di ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא בוער והוא יהיה בתפארה. Everybody, I-di-di-di-di אדון עולם אשר מלך יי-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di בטרם כל יציר נברא יי-di-di-di-di-di-di-di-di ויתנסה בחפצו כל יי-di-di-di-di-di-di אזי בלך שמו נקרא יי-di-di-di-di-di-di והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה יי-di-di-di-di אדון עולם אשר מלך יי-di-di-di-di-di-di-di בטרם כל יציר נברא יי-di-di-di-di-di-di-di ויתנסה בחפצו כל יי-di-di-di-di-di-di אז המלך שמו נקרא יי-di-di-di-di-di בידו כדרוכי בית ישן ואירה ואם רוחי גווייתי אדוני לי ולא אירה last time אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא יד נשא וחפצו כל אז המלך משמו נקרא
Shabbat Shalom. I'm sorry, I got bumped off. Lee and I were having a party somewhere else. I don't know, but happy birthday, Lee. Ad Me'av is streamed to 120. And to all of you, Shabbat Shalom. And thank you so much to Jonathan and to Cantor Glaser for leading us from the sanctuary. Shabbat Shalom.